From Julio Cruz and Gaylord Perry to Alvin Davis and Harold Reynolds to father and son back-to-back bombs. From Junior J, Joey, and Edgar with Randy, A-Rod, Dan, and the Sheriff to Ichiro Moyer and Mikey C to King Felix, Kyle Cruz, and Cano to the present with Julio, Gilbert, Kirby, and Cal. I don't believe it. It just continues. My, oh my, it's another sports podcast. My, oh my, our Mariners bounce up off the mat this weekend. My most disliked basketball team down in Oklahoma looks like they're going to come home with the NBA championship. My, oh my, it's another sports podcast. Got to give a huge shout out to super producer Indy out there in Nashville, Tennessee, rocking the ones and twos. That's Vaden Podcast Services. Vaden Podcast Services. They're bringing this show to life. We're back. We're back this time. Shout out to all the homies in the live chat. We actually had a bit of a natural disaster emergency down in New Mexico last weekend, so we had to cancel the show last minute. Wildfires down there in the great state of New Mexico. Don't worry, no harm, no foul. My homie RG is okay. I repeat, RG is okay. But we get wildfires up here in Washington. That shit is nothing to mess with. Tyson, my man is out there. He's out there working that grave ship, trying to buy him a spaceship and fly. Y'all know once a month RG has to do that overnight shift on the Sunday, so I gotta try to hold it down without him. Y'all know that's the best co-host a dude could ask for. Literally the best co-host a dude could ask for. But on my oh my, we can't, we won't, and we don't stop. We gotta keep the show rolling. I got my super producer Indy out here. He's kind of like the Scott Storch behind the scenes of this podcast game, so he'll be chiming in a little bit here and there. Tommy, I'm with you. Mariner Cypher, we'll get into Julio in a minute. Sometimes we start off with the bad, sometimes we start out with the good. Let's just recap really quickly. At 39 and 37, the Mariners are 5 games back in the AL West, but we've come up to tie for the last wild card spot with the Cleveland Indians. Oh my goodness gracious. This team's been on the struggle bus a bit, but hey, we're right in the mix. We're right in the mix. After a 1-2 performance at home versus Boston, where we only gave up 5 runs. We lost 2 out of 3 games, only giving up 5 runs. Well, where's the offense? Tommy, Cal is the second coming of Jesus. Cal Raleigh, I can't even believe this, Indy. What else is there to say about this guy? He's leading the charge. He's putting on literally a historic season for a catcher. He passed Johnny Bench for most home runs before the All-Star break. I counted. The Mariners still have 20 games left before the break. Oh my goodness. Cal is literally putting on a performance that can rival the likes of, dare I say, a Griffey Jr., maybe a young Alex Rodriguez. I mean, this shit's ridiculous. I'm looking at it right here. Only Ken Griffey Jr. has had more first half homers than Cal Raleigh. And like I said, there's 20 games left before the All-Star break. Cal could easily be topping home run records set by the great Ken Griffey Jr.
How many
himself.
does he need?
Man,
How many does he need to break Griffey's?
I believe he needs 3 more. Griffey has in
Ooh.
1994 and 1998. So Griffey, I believe, had 35 in 98, and I want to say 33 in 94. So Cal only needs a few more bombs to pass Griffey. He's on pace for like 65 or 66, which is absolutely incredible. I mean, he's a catcher, mind you. Indy. Just give me a quick wrap here. How hard is it for a catcher to be dominating at the dish like this, considering what they do in the field?
I mean, I'd say it's one of the more physically demanding positions in a lot of sports. It's if you haven't played catcher, you don't know what your knees feel like after 1 game, 2 games. How many games has it been? He's still stepping into the batter's box and performing better than 98% of the league, 99% of the league,
Hmm.
while also performing better than 99% of the league at his position. behind the dish. I mean, I don't think it's hard. You don't have to know much about baseball to know that it's hard to perform in the 99th percentile in two different aspects in one sport. That's legendary. Another thing I saw that Mark McGuire at the same point in time, his record-setting year had 33 home runs. The same date, June 22nd.
Whew.
Cal Riley is putting together a season rivaling steroid freaks
Let's do
while
it, man.
also being a platinum glove behind the dish. Like, get out of here, dude. He is the second coming of Jesus.
So, one thing we talk about, and we usually look at it more of in a negative light. Mariners Life are talking about Julio is terrible with runners in scoring position. The stats bear it out this year. He's better than most people think in the previous 3 seasons, but I believe he's about 182 or so with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. So clearly he needs to shorten up to and through, but let's stay on Cal for a minute here. I mean, we're going into the north side of Chicago. Wrigley Field opens in 1916. The team is struggling. We really, honestly, Indy, I was very pessimistic about this series. The Cubs are a really good team. That lineup is freaking stacked. And the Mariners come in and put on an offensive performance. I believe that was 30 runs in the 3 games, Indy. 31 runs in the 3 games, led by Cal Raleigh. You were just talking about how tough it is at catcher. This is what Cal does. Top of the ninth inning, he's caught 8 innings so far in 100-degree heat, and he hits an Oppo Taco home run. His hands must have been hurting. Does Cal give a shit about that? Oh, hell no. The dude is first in home runs. He has 4 more bombs than Aaron Judge. He's tied for second in RBI. And I know some of the analytics want to tell us that RBI isn't important. I'm calling bullshit on that one. I am not anti analytics at all. But you got to
No,
score runs. You got to get him home, Indy. Talk to me, baby. RBI is still important, and the only guy that has more breaks my heart because it's Geno Suarez.
no going there. And
No,
I
but
mean,
real talk. Talk to me about RBI, man.
I whoever says it's not important is, you know, missing something up there because I would imagine runs being scored is important and being the one to you know hit them in. I mean that's important. That's one of the most important aspects of baseball. Like if I went 0 for 3 but had 2 RBIs, I wouldn't feel like I didn't do anything. You know what I'm saying? Like is that a failure of a night for somebody? Even just because they didn't get on base but they had 2 RBIs? You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. RBIs are as important as anything else in baseball, I would say. Like I don't get how you can look at that and say, yeah, those don't matter that much. They don't tell you that much. It just blows my mind. Like you're
No
trying to
doubt,
be
man.
smarter than you are, buddy. Whoever's doing that is trying to be fancy for no reason.
There we go. There we go. Trying to outsmart the room, as we like to say. Tyson Baxter is saying that he thinks Cal's having the best catcher season he's ever seen, and you're old as shit. You're young to us, brother. You're young to us, Ty. And it can't be understated, though, man. Cal is second in baseball in OPS, fourth in WAR, Indy. And I talked about this on our mini pod last week. But Cal is in the 98th percentile for barrel rate, the 90th percentile for walk rate, and behind the dish in the 87th percentile for frame rate. But I really want to concentrate on the 98th percentile for barrel rate because he changed to the torpedo bat. And I've talked about this before. Even average Major League Baseball players are not going to be effective with this bat. If I went up to the dish with this thing, I wouldn't be able to do shit with it because you have to be so consistent at barreling the ball up and getting the sweet spot. When all the density is concentrated in that one area, it puts the onus on the hitter where if it's not as evenly distributed throughout the length of the bat, I'm going to have so many weak hits off the end and off the handle compared to Cal Raleigh, Aaron Judge, Shohei Ohtani. The best hitters in the game barrel the ball up at such a rate that it allows them to excel at an even higher level. I'm looking at Julio Rodriguez doesn't use that. I want to say he's in like the 45th percentile or so for barrel rate. So mere mortals can't be effective with that bat, in my opinion, Indy. But if you have the skill set where you get that sweet spot more than anybody else on planet Earth, we're seeing the damage that can be done with this thing.
Oh yeah, big time. I'm looking right now, and since May, Cal is batting 300 with 20 bombs, 46 RBIs, 25 walks to only 46 strikeouts in that time.
Damn. Damn, man. That's including 4 bombs at Wrigley Field. And the other thing is, too, that's impressing me, Indy, is I think on our Facebook and Insta pages, I've posted basically every Cat home run because I post almost every home run that is hit by the ends on that. But he's hitting all sorts of pitches out. He's hitting fastballs, cookies. He's hitting hangers. What you want your power hitters too. But what's really impressing me is he's been going down and golfing ones low below the zone. He's hitting oppo tacos with fastballs on the outside corner. He's bringing his hands up into his chest area to get the high inside. Like, what can Cal not hit out? It's been absolutely incredible. And then I want to give a huge shout out to our other catcher, Mitch Garver. Clearly vastly overpaid. That's not his fault. If someone had offered me $24 million to play 2 years of baseball, I would sign that yesterday. That's a front office problem for giving him that much money. But Garver comes through with 2 home runs on Friday, and you're going to laugh, Indy, but he's up to a .1 war with 3 home runs. And that's really not that terrible for a backup catcher. There's a lot of people that want to get rid of him. And I could see that because Harry Ford is lighting Triple A up. But we got to tread a little carefully on this one, man, because the dude, you can't name 60 other catchers that are better than Mitch Garver. Clearly, I'm not, well, I'll say this till I'm blue in the face, Indy. Those $12.5 million chat my ass, man. That sucks. But he's at least giving us a backup catcher, and I don't have the stats in front of me to look at it, but I highly doubt there's any backup catchers doing much more than a .1 WAR.
Yeah, I mean, Mariners lifer, I'm right there with you. He's shutting me up a little bit. You know, when he gets his hits, it feels like they're in spots where he really needed it too. You know what I mean? Like
Mm,
and I think, when you're a veteran, that's probably one of the better traits you can have.
yeah, I hear you. I hear you. And one thing that we got to know down at Tacoma, man, Harry Ford killing it with a 306 average and an 890 OPS, 8 bombs and 39 RBI. He had an absolutely dominant May. He still had a very good June. I don't exactly know where to put Harry Ford right now. Maybe he is on the trade block. Maybe he is. I mean, Cal Raleigh's our dude for the long term. But then I got to ask you, Indy, I believe Cal is already about 28 years old. How, if he's hitting like this, it's not going to be this year, but how far into the future do you consider moving Cal to first base permanently because we need the staying power of his great stick up there in the dish?
Um, that's a good question. It really just depends on, you know, what cards you have with Harry Ford. Like, if someone comes and you get an opportunity to get somebody like a Jose Ramirez or Vlad, obviously probably not likely to get either of those. I'm just saying players of those calibers because their futures in the not so recent or not so distant past were up in the air. Like, if you have the opportunity to get somebody like that, I don't think you think twice about including
Mm-hmm.
Harry Ford in that package. So it's really hard to say. It To me, it depends on Cal's body. Like if his body can withstand playing catcher and hitting at an elite level for 5 more years, then 5 more years. Like shit, nobody. I don't think there's a catcher better in the league behind the dish. Maybe I'm biased,
Mm-hmm.
but I genuinely don't think so, and I think a lot of people will agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I,
Mm-hmm.
like I'd love to see Harry Ford up. Like I'm guilty of, you know, getting starry-eyed over prospects and rookies and football, yada yada. I would love to see him called up and see what he can do, but it's crowded right now, like you said, and I think the better question is what's Mitch Garver's future, and if his future isn't long in Seattle, does that right there give Harry Ford a spot to show what he can do in the bigs?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I would say I'm 99% sure Mitch Garver will be gone next year. That he is in an expiring deal on his contract. He is getting paid 12.5 million, like I just said a couple of times, and he's really a veteran minimum type of player. I don't think that it's the end of his baseball career though, right now. I do think Mitch Garver, if he wants to be a vagabond for a couple more years in this league, he could easily do it. Clearly, he's not going to get that huge payday again. But man, like good problems to have, man. Good problems to have because if this was just like several weeks ago, Indy, I would be pounding the table right now. I mean, we just cut Rowdy Tellez. We just DFA'd the big man. And then Donovan Solano, who was having a historically shitty start to this season, has absolutely caught fire. And he's looking like the Donovan Solano we've seen in his career. I mean, Indy, after a terrible 2 months. In the month of June, Solano's hitting 440 with a 1.081 OPS. The dude is fucking raking, including a 2 home run game Sunday on the side of Chicago, which I freaking love. And Solano has a track record, man. You know, Donovan Solano hasn't had an OPS below 700 since 2015. Solano hasn't had an average below 280 since 2016. Now he's been the butt of a jokes, a lot of them by me for most of this year, and he deserved it. He was god awful early Indy, but in a 162 game baseball season and life in general, man, you gotta dodge and weave and roll with the punches, go with what works. And right now, Solano is working. And then you know how much I love Luke Raley. He was doing work in AAA on his rehab assignment. He's come back and only gone 4 for 7 with 2 RBI, baby. And Dominic Canzone, Indy. We both seen the talent. It just has never come to fruition with this young man, which is understandable. Major League Baseball is really fucking hard. Even the best players on planet Earth don't always pan out in the big league level. Oh my gosh, my gosh, my gosh. Dominic Canzone looks like a different dude, though, bro. He's
Yeah,
now
yeah.
hitting
What happened?
286, 3 home run, confidence in approach. Indy,
Yep.
just talk to me in general. Confidence in approach. How much could that change a baseball player?
A lot. I mean, he knows what to expect. He's been here before. He knows what it feels like to come up and go back down and come up and go back down. He doesn't want to go back down. He doesn't want to go back down. He wants to stay up here, and that's what it looks like. That's what that looks like
Mhm.
to me. Going up to the plate with determination and intention and making shit happen.
I love it. I love it, man. I want to go to a specific at bat too, and the old Dominic Canzone, I promise you would have struck it out, but I can't remember. It was one of the games versus the Cubs. All three were day games, so they kind of blend together more that way. But he starts out 0-1. He gets to 0-2. Then he fouls a bunch of pitches. Eventually works a long ass bat to 3-2. Then he eventually draws a walk. The old Canzone never would have been able to work a walk from an 0-2 count. And then the power's always been there, Indy. Last year, one of my favorite home runs of the entire baseball season. Canzone hit one to right field, and it went through the tunnel into the concession area. Man, if you're in the beer line and the ball is bouncing around your ass, would have been hilarious to see that go
Yeah.
down. That's the kind of power this dude has. I know it could easily fade, but the talent is there, bro. And one thing I love in all sports is I love seeing a dude's nuts drop, man. I know that's not exactly a PC way of putting it, bro, but it's so fun to see a young man like Canzone, for example, struggle, struggle, struggle. And like you said, and not just with Seattle, with Arizona too. Between his time with the Diamondbacks and the Mariners organization, he's been up and down, up and down. He dominates AAA. AAA is too easy for Canzone. But what do we always talk about, Indy? The typical 4A player who rakes AAA
Hmm.
but can't figure it out in the big leagues. Hopefully, this is a dominant Canzone coming out party. And if he can be the player that his talent suggests he could be, I'm not saying he's going to be an all star, nothing like this, but he has a potential to be a plus starter, a guy who makes a difference on a winning ball club. That would be a boost that would just be incredible for this ball club. So you add Luke Rayleigh, you add Dominic Canzone, you add Donovan Solano. Yeah, I know they were already on the team, but I look at his additions on a team, Indy also, who steps up.
Hmm.
Sometimes the help comes within. Sometimes the help can come within. There's still guys in AAA I would like to see up right now, but it's just so fun to see. And then I want to actually talk about Cole Young really quick because I was actually at T-Mobile ballpark for his very first start, and honestly, I thought Young was going to get sent back down pretty damn quick, bro, because he was overmatched by the hard fastball, overmatched by that high 90s high heater. But he's made adjustments. He's figuring a couple things out. After a terrible start where I think he was probably like 1 for 15 or so, in the last 15 days, the dude's hit 314 with a 742 OPS. And I want to reference another battling at bat. These are the signs I like to look for, Indy. Is my man Cole Young. This is on Sunday afternoon later in the ball game. He is absolutely blown away by a 98-mile-per-hour fastball. The second pitch, he fouls it back into the grandstands behind home plate. It's now 0-2. Then on the 0-2 pitch, he hits a 98-mile-per-hour liner into left field for an RBI single. Not only are we seeing this guy progress and improve over the course of about the last month or so since when he's been called up, I'm seeing this guy make his improvements in the batter's box in one single at bat. And that is so exciting to see because as much as I want the Mariners to search outside Indy, there's only one American League team that's over 10 games behind. Tyson Baxter's Baltimore Orioles have had an extremely disappointing season. They're still only like 6 games back in the wild card. This is exactly what Major League Baseball wanted when they expanded the wild card even more, have more teams involved late. And right now, there's really only the Chicago White Sox in the American League that I would just X out and say, you have no effing chance to get back in this. Indy, we're only 2 games over 500. We haven't even talked about our pitching on this episode yet. I feel that there is a chance that this team could take off and at least be a competitive playoff quality team.
Absolutely. I mean, our offense this year, it's it's slumped at times for sure, but it's definitely been the offense that we wished it was last year. But our pitching staff has just gone through so much, you know, so many obstacles, injuries, and just unfortunate situations. It's it's weird. It's weird to think that if our pitching staff was playing better, the or healthier the past, month and a half, our record probably would look a lot different.
Hmm.
I would argue that our a healthy Logan, Miller, and Gilbert without having to, figure their way back like to themselves after getting healthy, I'd argue we'd have at least 5 more wins.
Hmm.
So I think if I'm the rest of the MLB, if I'm the rest of the AL, I'd do anything to keep the Mariners pitching staff from figuring it out and getting back to their final form because if they do, look out.
Yeah, no doubt, man. No doubt. It's a crazy thing to see right now. And I know we always talk about the peaks and valleys of a baseball season, but the Mariners have really had a bunch of peaks and valleys this season, man. Sometimes you end up at 39 and 37, and it's kind of just like a win one, lose one, win one, lose one. The Mariners have gone on hot streaks and cold streaks, man. So it's going to be a fun, emotional season if you love the Seattle Mariners. Texas Power. I hope you don't sacrifice your dog to get Cal Raleigh, homie. Good to see you up in this shit, man. I don't know about your Texas Rangers. I think they might be in some shit right now. I would be optimistic about your Houston Texans, though. We might say that for another episode because me and Indy love to chop up the NFL here. But here's a question then. You're talking about guys filling in. Emerson Hancock. He got absolutely lit up by the Chicago Cubs. 9 earned runs in 4 innings pitched. He has been steady with only a few bad starts. You're going to have to just look at his stats and kind of close your eyes on it, Indy, because when he's bad, he is so shitty that his overall stats are going to just look horrible. To get the full picture of Emerson Hancock, you have to look at his game log and you realize he's actually been steady and solid. But all that being said, I want Logan Evans back up. 3-2 ERA or 3-2 record with a 3.3 ERA. To my eye test, Logan Evans mixes his speeds very well. I actually was fortunate enough to see him make his major league debut at T-Mobile Park. Can't believe I made it there twice, considering how much I love to golf. But that's neither here nor there. I would like to see Logan Evans back up. And then with Emerson Hancock, Indy, if he is pumping like 95 to 97 as a starter right now, is there a chance that if we got him ready for the bullpen, he could be pumping more like 99 and could be an effective reliever this year?
Mm. Could he be? Sure, probably, but uh, I can't say for sure because I don't know. Baseball is such a mental game. I don't know his mental, you know, level, his mental aptitude, his mental strength because it takes somebody with very little ego to be able to say, "All right, I didn't hack it at this position. I'll go do another one." I'll go pitch out of the bullpen. I'll be whatever the team wants me to be. It takes a certain type of egoless individual to do that. So
Hmm.
I can't really say because I don't really know that much about him other than that when he's bad, and I would pin some of his numbers on Dan Wilson sending him back out there for another inning when it definitely felt like he shouldn't be going back out there for another inning at times. You know,
Mm, mm.
so, like he's a young kid, he'll figure it out. I think it might affect his confidence trying to ask him to come out of the bullpen instead of continuing to work on what he's been working on. I don't know.
Okay. The human aspect would, and you could just say from exactly how you would feel because it'll just give us an idea. Indy, say you're in Emerson Hancock's position on a big league ball club right now. Would you rather have the organization tell you we're going to move you to the bullpen this year, or would you rather have them tell you we're sending you back to Tacoma, you're still a starter?
Yeah, that right there is a very good question because like I said, do you want to be whatever the team needs you to be and stay up there at any cost? Or are you looking at it as they want me to stay as a starter, so I'm going to go hone in and do what every other starter has done, grind out their spot in this league? So it's a complex question. It's a simple question with a complex answer, I should say.
That's a good
It,
way of putting it.
it's hard. Baseball's so mental, and you don't want to shove somebody when they're already down. Because after a start like that one, bro, I'd be down, dude.
I hear you. It's also pro sports too. So it can go both ways. I mean, every pro organization is looking for a better, cheaper option than the person that's actually performing those duties, except for maybe a Cal Raleigh. I just want Mariners Lifer had a great point. Logan makes the whole team play with an attitude. I'm not going to call him
Absolutely.
Randy Johnson, but that's what Randy Johnson provided the ball club. Logan does the same thing. It's that intensity. It's that dog. LG the OG, as we on My Oh My, it's another sports podcast. We were the ones that coined that term, LOG the OG. Don't forget it. But he comes with that. I like attitude's a good word for it too. It's kind of fuck with me. And you know what? The Cubs did fuck with him today, man. They really did light him up a little bit. Logan gave up 3 home runs, 4 earned runs in only 5 innings. But the attitude, the I got something that you can't mess with. I mean, he comes back from injury, was what, 10 Ks, 1 walk his first outing. And you said it off the air, Indy. If y'all didn't know before, you can only watch so much baseball in your life. The Chicago Cubs have a fucking awesome lineup. Oh my
Yes, they
god.
do.
PCA, Pete Crow Armstrong, Kyle Tucker, Suzuki or Suzuki.
Michael Bush.
This dude, it's loaded. Absolutely. Kyle Tucker doing Kyle Tucker things too.
Forgot about him,
I'm glad. Thank God he's not on Houston anymore. Jesus Christ, that guy
dude.
made me crazy every single time we played them. But I'm also looking at something right here because I just wanted to see Gilbert's stats. And the bullpen has struggled throughout much of the season so far, Indy. But,
Hmm.
but they're holding it down a little bit right now. They're holding it down a little bit right now, and some guys are surprising me. Dude, Bizardo. I've always thought that he was kind of like, why the hell is he out there? His ERA is down at 3.05. He's become pretty darn dependable. Gabe Spire, he has been locked down except for Sunday versus the Cubs. Lord knows. I like Kyle Tucker quite a bit. Have you noticed, bro? But that guy can hit home runs off of anybody, and at least it wasn't a low leverage situation. But there's a lot of reason to be positive about this team. I guess it just comes down to the consistency factor right now because Cal Raleigh is carrying this team. I mean,
Dude.
he's carrying this team.
Yep. On his back, dude. I can't. It's hard. It's hard to put into words to people that don't watch baseball or fully understand it what Cal Raleigh is doing. Because not only is he doing it as a catcher, he's doing this as a switch hitter too. And
Mmm.
if I'm not mistaken, he has the most home runs for a switch hitter before the All Star break.
Gotta.
Uh, I'm pretty sure he does. Which, like, there's just so many layers to to what he is doing right now. It's like I try to explain it to Darby, but it's just if you don't if you don't know, you don't know. There's just so much that he's doing. It's, it's incredible, and it's hard to put into words. Man's body takes a beating twice as bad as pretty much any other position on the field, and he's hitting the ball better than fucking everybody.
Mm-hmm. Dare I say he's the MVP?
If the season ended right fucking now, he would be. He would be. I don't like. Yeah, there's arguments for other people, but like at the end of the day, no other player is carrying their team the way that he is.
Mm.
Like no other lineup, falls off the way it falls off after, our top 3, 4 guys. Like Judge's
Dude.
lineup is definitely deeper than ours.
Mm-hmm.
Who else is up there right now in home runs? Gino. Well, Gino's got 25. That's not really. It's not that close. It's not
So
6 home
here's the thing,
runs.
too. Indy, I love the Mariners. You know how much I love this, but it's the Seattle fucking Mariners, dude. Like, where would this team be? Where would this organization be without Cal's contribution right now? Because like Aaron Judge, unbelievable,
Yep.
incredible, incredible. But like you said, it's the New York Yankees. 27 championships. If Aaron Judge didn't exist, then they keep Juan Soto. Maybe they're in the Shohei Ohtani sweepstakes. If they don't have Aaron Judge, yeah, he's probably the best player on the planet right now. If you said he was, I would have zero argument. But the New York Yankees would find other superstars. Where would the Mariners ever find another Cal Raleigh?
In their dreams.
Yeah, I mean, this is the Seattle Mariners where we have to luck into superstars, basically.
Yep, literally. Yep, we have to luck into them.
Yeah. I mean, how they get their other superstars? Oh, we got the first pick in the. It happened to be a Ken Griffey Jr. draft. Oh, we were so shitty. We got the first pick, and it happened to be an Alex Rodriguez draft. I mean, Lord knows we've seen the Mariners make terrible top five draft picks in the history of this franchise. It's basically endless on their lack of drafting and lack of player development until recently. Boy, it's amazing the way things can turn around in a short period, dude, because I was pretty sour on this team. And the record tells me I honestly shouldn't get that optimistic. But reading between the lines, I'm seeing signs of life. And you know I love to say that term, Bam, but I'm seeing signs of life with this Mariners ball club.
Yeah, for sure. And just everything in me, as not just a Mariners fan, but as a baseball fan, wants to see Julio at his full potential. Like I want to
Mhm.
see what he can do and what the Mariners could be with a Cal Raleigh at his full potential in his prime, with a Julio right there beside him at his full potential in his prime, being wingmanned by a healthy Jorge Polanco. Oh, dude, healthy Victor Robles. Come on, man, we need him back.
Oh, seriously. Hey, I gotta be real though, man. I gotta be real. If Dominic Canzone can play like an absolute stud, then I wouldn't even. I would bring Robles back as like a bench speed guy.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
understand that it's a huge if. It's a
I
huge if.
I would slide Cam Zone into DH and put Robles
Okay.
out there because I
Okay.
think he covers more ground. I think Robles'
Okay.
legs cover more ground.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. I mean, the Mariners are in a position the last several years where if anybody's hitting, they got to be in the lineup. You know, deep down to my core, I think Dylan Moore is a utility guy. And boy, we haven't seen him play in a grip. I'm wondering if they're going to DFA him because Demo is another guy on an expiring contract this year. But he's like the guy where when he's hot, I'm like, put him in because we know he's going to cool off. But when he's hot, he gets hotter than an Albuquerque summer, man. And
Hmm.
so when you're the Mariners, you just got to ride the hot hand. You were talking about super mega stars for the Harry Ford trade, Indy. I got to ask you, though. The rumor mill is Harry Ford for Josh Naylor. What do you think about that?
Hard pass.
Hard pass. Naylor does have a 303 average with an 823 OPS, but he is on an expiring contract, so it might only be a rental. It's still hard pass.
Yeah, I mean, is it straight up Harry Ford for Naylor? That's it?
Probably.
Makes it a little better, but like, I don't
What
know. It
if
just,
you what if you traded Harry Ford and Logan Evans for Josh Naylor and Eugenio Suarez?
that that's speaking to me a little more, but I feel like, yeah, I mean, Williamson would probably be an odd man out there, huh?
I'll put Williamson in the deal then. I mean, I honestly don't even know if the Diamondbacks would accept such a deal. It might depend on where they're realistically at down the stretch. It's funny, I'm talking about taking their players when they just swept our asses last weekend, but
Right.
I mean
Yeah, I
that's how
mean,
baseball works though. I mean,
it's for me, it's hard to say that, like, it's hard for me to want to trade Harry Ford for someone Like Josh Naylor's good, but is he somebody that's going to turn the tide of our franchise? Is he going to be that little bit that we need to get over the hump and be a playoff contender? You know what I mean? Like that's where you really have to ask yourself because you don't know what Harry Ford is. You have no idea.
Yeah.
You have no idea what he's going to be at the next level. And he's versatile. He can play so many positions, man.
Okay.
Like that's why it's hard for me. But I mean, I feel like that we have so many prospects that have a lot of potential. Like what's his name? Felon Celestin.
Oh yeah,
Then we
dude.
have Lazaro Montez is like
Across the
freaking
bridge from
giant.
me. Yes, dude. Lazaro Montez has 18 home runs. He is leading single A in home runs right now, right across the bridge from me, dude.
Isn't he like a
La-
skinny Jordan Alvarez,
that's what
essentially?
they call it. He don't look skinny to me. He looks like a big motherfucker that loves to hit
Yeah,
the
but
ball,
Jordan
man.
makes him look a little skinny, I guess. So that's why I've heard it that way. Maybe I don't know,
There's a
but
big ass bridge between where I live and where the Everett Aqua Sox play, Indy. And Laz Montez can hit that ball from Everett to Lake Stevens. I promise you that shit.
what position is he? Right field? Is he outfield?
Y-
Can't remember.
Yeah, and I mean he's gonna profile as first baseman DH when it really, if
That's what I
he
was wondering
makes it
because
all the way. You know how a lot of these guys are. They're at the position they like, and as they keep moving out, the organization might tell them, "I don't know if we can have you out there, man."
we just want you to stretch, snag the ball when it comes your way, and hit the fuck out of the ball. That's it. Don't
Uh,
worry about running
uh,
around.
that's what first basemen are supposed to do, baby.
Yep. Yeah, I mean,
But
it sees so, like that's why it's hard for me to want to trade for a guy like Josh Naylor. Like he's good, don't get me wrong, but like you said, he's on an expiring contract. And is he gonna
hmm
be that push? Is he gonna be like what's the end goal with that trade? I guess is what I'm asking. Like,
hmm
is it because I don't see it as being enough. And
yeah,
if it's
I
not
could see
enough,
that.
then I don't see it being worth getting rid of one of our top, our like highly our highest touted prospects who actually performed pretty decently in the World Baseball Classic as a 20-year-old. You know, so
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, there's a reason. The
this,
reason Harry Ford gets brought up is because we have just spent half an episode praising Cal Raleigh, and so positionally, yeah, he's versatile, but positionally, he's somewhat blocked. And I always come back to right now is his best trade value unless he actually turns into an all star.
yeah, that yes, that also is very true.
You know,
But
because these guys come up, and if it's a struggle, I mean, look at what we got for Jared Kelenic after he came up and sucked ass.
that's true.
If
Our
we
head coach
traded
is an
Kelenic
all-time
before he
catcher.
came up, okay, okay.
You know, so I feel like if somebody's gonna make a decision and pull the trigger on something like that, I feel like he'd be the guy that I'd trust to do that and have an insight that makes it,
Mhm.
justifiable.
That makes sense, that makes sense. Well, holy shit, dude. It's it's been a fun baseball season so far. I can't lie, man. When I on my weekends, man, if I can swing a club or two and if I can watch the Mariners baseball, I will be happier than a pig in shit, especially when this ball club is doing work, man. I still want more from Julio, man. He's actually had kind of a power outage recently. If when it comes to Julio Rodriguez, I honestly don't even care what his average is if it's decent. 250, 260. If I can get that fantastic defense and 30 home runs, then I am happy as hell. But
Mhm.
we've had a power outage from him recently. Hopefully he can start launching some big flies for us
I
soon.
gotta say it. I gotta bring it back to something you said some point last year when Julio's good buddy got busted.
Mm,
Is the power outage? I mean, it dates back to that time. That little
hmm
span of time is when his power kind of dropped off the face of the earth. So it makes me really wonder. I mean, that question, you don't understand. I've heard your voice in the back of my head asking that question ever since. Was Julio on roids?
I mean, and I don't like to be the one to point the finger at people like that, but at the same time, I just think that we would be so completely naive to think that our favorite players, there wasn't an absolute possibility of using some PEDs, Indy. Let's be real, man.
We're all
Like,
human. Everybody's
yeah,
human.
what would you take to get $100 million contract? Fucking anything.
You know,
I'm be
that's
real.
the answer, bro. 95% of the earth would say anything. The
Yeah.
5% that wouldn't are like Shaolin monks or something.
No, the 5% that say they wouldn't are liars.
Liars or they already have it. You
So
know,
it
so
yeah,
yeah.
it is I forgot that I even brought that up, man, and I hate to even say it too, and then I just look at the guy as a person and sitting in the first row center field twice this year, the dude is jacked. Like, there was a middle-aged lady sitting next to me about a month ago, Indy, and she had such a crush on Julio. It was so funny. And I look over, I was like, Isn't that what a professional athlete's supposed to look like?" And she just blushed like a mother. It was so good.
You caught her gushing, huh? It's
Oh,
funny.
man. Well, is there anything else you want to attack on the Mariners right now? Because I kind of want to, for the last part of the show, shift this into a little bit of a different direction than we've gone lately.
Uh, I mean, I don't think so. I mean,
Yeah.
not really.
Okay.
I I was a little worried about like Kirby there for a little bit, but I feel like he's finally coming back, and I guess I did have a question like, is Kirby still the number two, or is that Woo's spot now?
What about Luis Castillo? As it stands right now, Indy,
I
as
always
it's
forget about
and
Castillo.
these guys are
So is he
they're
three or
when
four
they're
or
at their
three or four?
best. I got Kirby at 4 right now. I really do. And that's no disrespect. But this is what this rotation can be, Indy. If you said it earlier, so I was looking at the stats. The Mariners pitching staff is middle of the road in every important statistic in baseball. In the last 4 years, that same pitching staff has been top five in every important stat. If we could get healthy, if we could get productive, if all these dogs can start taking off the attitude of the leader, Logan Gilbert, this shit could change extremely quickly. But right now, for me, it is definitely Logan, Wu, Castillo, Kirby, and then whoever is going to be the fifth filling out. Whether Miller makes it back, Hancock, or, in my personal opinion, I would like Logan Evans as the fifth starter going
I
forward.
think Logan Evans also brings some of that attitude
Interesting.
to the mound. I like the way I think he whether he would admit it or not looks up to Logan Gilbert a lot
Mm,
and models his approach after him a lot, which is an awesome thing to do in my opinion because look at Logan Gilbert, dude's a freaking beast.
no doubt, no doubt. And I want to say Logan Evans was like a 12th round pick or something like that.
It's crazy.
Guys like guys like that aren't supposed to make major league rosters. They're supposed to
Nope.
just fill out the minor league rosters and say goodbye and congratulations to the chosen ones along the way. So if he is emulating Logan Gilbert and he just has that bulldog underdog type of mentality to defy the odds and make it as far as he has from where he was drafted. Congratulations. And I just love guys that will have that proverbial chip on their shoulder, man. We see shit. Talking about Tom Brady for a second off air. We've seen guys become the greatest of all time in their sports by carrying that chip on the shoulder the entire time.
I mean, in Seattle, we have a franchise great undrafted took that chip and became one of the most elite route runners we've ever seen. Doug Baldwin. So
Dude, that release. Those
Show me a
routes,
release better than his. Show me a
those
release
hands.
better than his. I
That's
will
all I'm
wait.
saying.
I will wait. That is my favorite all-time football player. I will wait.
Dude, get your ass up and bump and run coverage and get your hands on him. Try.
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 Dude had
Well, shit,
the
dude.
AI crossover, bro. The dude had the AI crossover in the NFL. You don't see that.
Shit.
I
Dude, that's
just
so
there's one specific route in the red zone against the Rams. He had that corner so lost that he was literally backpedaling while catching the touchdown. It looked like just smiling. He had the
good.
DB so lost. Ah, if there was one player I could have back on offense from that era, believe it or not, it would be him.
Okay.
It would be him.
I don't mind that take.
Him with JSN and Cooper Cup. Good luck covering those guys. Three demon route runners. That would just be just a headache.
Okay.
A
Let's just
headache.
full on transition. Hey y'all, if y'all want to hear some NBA talk, because there's some huge news recently. My hated OKC Thunder are now the champions. One of my favorite current ballers, Kevin Durant, is traded to the Houston Rockets. But I honestly want to just put that on the back burner because my homie RG gives so many fantastic takes on the National Basketball Association. I would really like to just let that simmer until next week. But Indy, training camp opens in a few weeks, bro. Tell me about your thoughts on the Seattle Seahawks and just give me a couple of jabs on maybe some surprises in the leagues and maybe a fantasy sleeper or two.
Start out with the Seahawks. I am extremely excited. I think this defense is already clicking at a level that we all knew it could be under Mike McDonald and expected it to be going into his second year, getting more familiar with the players and getting players that are more fit for his scheme. Kind of, how it is whenever a new regime comes in, there's a lot of roster turnover and getting the guys that they want. But this offense, the defense is exciting, absolutely. But this offense is so unknown. We don't know what to expect out of it. There's so many,
Mhm.
like, it's even exciting to think that if Sam Darnold fails, we might see Milrow at some point. Like, it's the season could go so many different ways and it can still be exciting. I think that's, as a Seahawks fan, like, we shouldn't expect perfection or greatness this year, but we should expect a lot of excitement. A lot of excitement. We have a lot of big personalities in that locker room, a lot of young, big personalities. I'm excited for some of these rookies to get out on the field, especially two of my guys, my favorite guys from this draft that I wanted before Arroyo. And I think you can already say you already know who I'm talking about.
Damian Martinez.
You already know who I'm talking about. That big boy. I'm ready to
Hammerhead.
see. Yes, I'm ready to see that thumper back there. I mean, dude, the running back, we have so many position groups that are so deep that like we're gonna have to say bye to guys that we like. Like it's one of those years. It's one of those
Mm,
years. We might have to say bye to Bobo. We might say bye to Kenny McIntosh. We might have to say bye to. I personally think Noah Fant's not gonna be on the team week one. Like personally, I just
okay. Time out.
I
Time out. Time out. I gotta interrupt then. You just brought up Noah Fant not being on the team. Elite edge rusher Trey Hendrickson is on the trade block. The Seahawks are in the rumor mill. He will need a giant contract extension plus the trade value. What would you be willing to trade to bring in a guy that's like what led the league in sacks 2 years in a row, I believe?
Uh, I think I want the other white guy in the AFC North. I want TJ Watt. I heard he's available.
You think he actually is?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
He has he
Okay.
has he has I mean, granted he's faced double teams at unprecedented rates. He has completely underwhelmed. The fan base in Pittsburgh's sick of him. There's a
Interesting.
lot there's a lot of depth there to that. I think that he's really on the trade block. I think that his lack of production is has teams like, you know, weighing whether he's worth what someone like Hendrickson, who's, you know, been producing at that level consistently for the past 2 years, like you said, is worth. But I would prefer TJ Watt because it, I think you get him for a little less. I think you can sign him to an extension for a little less money, and I think you get just as much, if not more, from him. I mean, because you're not plugging him into the line to a lineup to be the only guy, the only superstar. You're plugging him next to Tank, Byron Murphy, Big Cat, Chinonwosu, Boye Mafe, Derek Hall. You add a TJ Watt or a Hendrickson to that group, you probably lose one of those guys.
That's what I'm
I'd
thinking.
expect Nwosu because of the contract number. That's what I would think.
But they wouldn't want Nwosu though either. That's why these things are so tough.
I
So here's
think the
what I'm going to
Steelers
ask you.
would more than the Bengals.
Okay. Okay. What if I said Derek Hall and a fourth round pick for TJ Watt?
Give me TJ Watt immediately. Fuck yes. You said Boye Mafe, I might have been a little more hesitant.
Okay. I think Derek Hall might be the most attractive trade piece of all of the extra edge rushers they have, Indy, because he showed a ton of promise. He's shown production in year two. And the huge kicker is he's got 2 years left on his rookie deal. Boye Mafe is on an expiring contract. Uh, Uchenna Nwosu, I love him as a player. He's vastly overpaid right now. Teams don't want 20 million for Nwosu, and DeMarcus Lawrence ain't going anywhere. Teams aren't
Nope.
gonna they just force the Seahawks hands to be like, if you don't want him that bad, cut his ass, and then we'll sign him. So that's why I think Derek Hall, for the reasons I listed, has the most value. I think that trading for a Hendrickson or a TJ Watt is going to take a second round pick and a mid round pick, but then maybe both those teams want to compete this year. Maybe it makes more sense for them to ask for a Derek Hall or a Boye Mafe and a mid-round pick, given their situations juxtaposed to what we're doing. But you're right, man. I'm so excited about this defense, and I just wanted to add, I I'm worried about cornerback a little bit, but in no world am I trading for Jalen Ramsey and $20+ million a year
No.
for
Nope.
him at that age.
I'm not that
Absolutely.
worried.
The only big trade I do is if it's for someone on the D line, which is weird.
Or
That's a really deep position, but we have so many good players. I feel we can maybe make a package to bring in one great dude and still have quality depth.
yeah. 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 I mean, I just if Jair Alexander wasn't worth what did he get in Baltimore? 3 million, 4 million, something
Oh
incredibly low.
wow.
Something
Wow.
incredibly low. Maybe 6 million, but still incredibly low for a player of his caliber when he's healthy. If we don't see him as worth even putting an offer for at that number, there's no way in hell we're considering trading for Jalen Ramsey.
Fair.
You know,
And I
like
hope
there's
they
no
don't.
way, no. No, I'm right there with you. I absolutely hope they don't. It's
Dude, that's dirty though. Shout
mhm.
out to Tyson Baxter's Ravens. That's dirty. So what they have now have Hamilton and the safety from Georgia they just drafted this year at safety. Then
Starks,
they
right?
got yeah,
Is that his
Malachi
name?
Starks. Then they got Nate Wiggins, first round pick out of Clemson last year. If
Dog.
Jair Alexander can be anything close to what he's been in the past That's instantly one of the top flight secondaries in the NFL.
Yep.
Baseball ain't over. I just love Major League Baseball, but you can already tell, Indy. I can hear those shoulder pads popping way off in the distance right
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The
now.
whistles are blowing. I'm ready. I'm ready. The smack talk, DK breakdowns on field. I'm ready to see that. Ready to see DK freaking out that Aaron Rodgers isn't throwing him the ball.
Let's go. I think the Seahawks play Pittsburgh in the second game of the season.
Yes, we do. I
Holy shit.
woo-wee, I can't wait. I love. For some reason I've always loved playing against Aaron Rodgers. The Seahawks, like we've always played him pretty well.
Yeah.
We've always
Because
given him fits.
he's an all-time great and you want to mess those dudes up. How
Mm-hmm.
fun was that destroying Peyton fucking Manning?
Oh, dude, I I watched that game in a church auditorium full of Tennessee Vol fans in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I was the lone Seahawks fan in that room that day.
Oh
It
shit.
was the most glorious feeling from what was it, like 12 seconds in the first half we scored, 12 seconds into the second half we scored. Like, bro, until the very end of the game, it felt like I was the only one in that room that could breathe. It was awesome.
Love it.
Not only did we destroy an all-time great, we destroyed an all-time great offense.
True.
The all-time great offense statistically. So, if we and there's a whole lot of talk ever since we drafted him and Worry that it's the Legion of Boom 2.0, yada yada yada. If we could even bring 50% of the intensity that secondary brought, that team brought, this team is going to be a fucking force to be reckoned.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I firmly believe that if we had an inkling of a running game last year, we would have been in the playoffs. An inkling of a running game.
I mean, the team finished 10-7.
We would have been in the playoffs. We would have won 2 or 3 more games if we had a running game that scared people. We never we rarely established the run
Hmm.
at all last year. And that like you can't go against you can't fight nature. Establishing the run is in the nature of football. You cannot fight the nature of something and expect to be successful in it.
Hmm.
You just can't.
Well, and then coming to November and December, the weather gets really shitty up here, Indy, and it's hard to pass the ball even for great passing offenses.
Yep. Yep. And if when the defense knows what you're gonna do, it's like
Yeah.
you're
Clearly,
doing
Ryan
half their
Grubb's
job for
offense
them.
wasn't a fit. It just wasn't a
Yeah.
fit.
Nope.
And I
It
fully
wasn't.
believe that Grubb going back to Alabama with Kalen DeBoer, I bet he's going to cook some shit up real good again. It just
Oh
was
yeah.
not the right fit. So it is what it
No.
is.
Yeah. It wasn't the right fit at all. Like I mean, his passing scheme was awesome. Honestly, like I loved it. I loved the creativity in his passing. Uh, like it felt a lot different than you know the Waldron years or the Bevel years or pretty much any of the other years. It felt a lot
Mhm.
different, like a lot more creative, a lot more fun involved in the offense. It just went too far into the creative aspect and left the foundational football.
Yep, there you go. Couldn't have said it better myself. The nitty
And that's
gritty,
one thing.
the
Yep,
foundations.
dude. Yep. I mean, aside from that one year where Russ was like fuck 85% of the offensive production, like under Pete, we never forgot the foundations of football.
Mhm.
And like,
Well,
yeah,
oh my, we support the foundations, we support the fundamentals. That doesn't mean we're against the math, but the fundamentals is where you establish everything, man. Uh, you can't run before you walk. You can't throw deep bombs before you can run an ISO play. It's some of the basics.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, my little brother's getting into football. He played his first. He's 10. He played his first year of flag football this summer, and his first thought was, "I want to play quarterback." And I'm like, "Bro, you never played football. You're not just going to be the hardest position right out the gate. You got to go
Mm,
learn the fundamentals of football. That's the only thing you need to worry about, right? Is going and learning, how to run, how to catch, snap counts, learning what positions are what routes are what a play is, like what a huddle is. You need to learn all of that before you go into manning to be the quarterback, you know?
absolutely.
And I think that's how it is all the time in every level of the sport. You can't just go in expecting something to work because it worked for you in the past, or you can't just go in expecting something to work because you're you. Like Grub thought his scheme was gonna work the way it was, you know, and he
Mm,
refused to divert from what he thought was gonna work. I, not only did it frustrate us as fans and the coaching staff as coaches, it frustrated the players on the field. I don't think I'd ever seen a Seattle Seahawk receiver grab a headset screaming into it, ever,
mm.
ever. And we had some shitty coordinators and some receivers with some fucking attitudes. You know what I mean? So like, it's crazy. Ginger Fit Dad for this month, 100%. 100%. The month of June, absolutely.
Let's go. Let's give Donovan Solano some love again. Why not, man? Because I was shitting on him earlier in the year, and rightfully so. The dude had like a 190 OPS in April. I might be exaggerating, I might not be, but Donovan Solano hitting 440. He is hitting 440 in the month of June with a 1.081 OPS. He is coming alive, and like we said, he has been a consistent hitter for the last 10 years. I know he's almost as old as a dinosaur, and that's why I was so worried, but
He's slower
savvy.
than a dinosaur
Oh my
bones right
god.
now.
Yeah, he is. But savvy. So savvy. And boy, he got that 72-mile-per-hour slow ass curveball from Flexen. Oh, baby. The patience too. Most mere mortals like myself, if I get a slow curve right in that spot, I get so excited I pull it right at the third base coach. Instead, professional hitter, which I am not, obviously, and he puts it in the stands. Shout out Donovan Solano. Duh, Dominic Canzone, Ginger Fit. We had a love story about Dominic Canzone today. It's actually been really fun, Indy. I can't lie because it's been an up and down year. I hit the mic for a little solo half hour a few days ago, and I was really negative on the team. Canzone is coming up huge. Solano's coming up huge. Indy, we're 39 and 37, tied for the last spot in the wild card. Dude, the Mariners, we're coming, baby. NFL season around the corner. We'll get into the NBA tomorrow. Do you want to put a stamp on the Seattle Mariners, man? Give a shout out to Cal.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I guess your mic went out for a second
Oh,
there.
no.
No, it's back. It's back. I don't know what happened. Thank you, Ginger Fit, for saying that. Yeah, dude. I mean, Canzone has come crazy. Yeah, it's working. It's working, Ty. It went out on the Streamlabs for some reason. It just muted.
They just want to shut my ass up. I get that.
Yeah, Streamlabs muted you at some point. Yep, that's pretty funny. But yeah, dude, Dominic Camzone has been insane since he's come back up, and like we said earlier, he's up there like he doesn't want to go back down, and
Amen.
it doesn't look like he's gonna be going back down anytime soon if he keeps hitting like that. And
Confidence in approach. Confidence
yep,
in approach.
Mariners lifer, the slow old man is raking. Donovan Solano is one of the slowest players in the MLB for sure. 100%. Dude moves like he's got freaking cement in his legs.
Dare
I
I
can't believe
say,
it.
I think I saw Donovan hit a double in person, so that really gives you an idea about speed. I swear to Christ, Edgar was even faster.
What's his name? Vogelbach looks faster.
Shout out to an old buddy, man. The big man.
Canzone, Canzone does have a funny run. He does. He reminds
Yeah.
me of that kid who like hit a really it was like short his whole life and then hit a really big growth spurt and just never figured out his lankiness. It's kind of how he runs in my mind. It's funny.
Well, he can run as goofy as he wants to as long as he's raking. That's all I gotta say.
Facts.
Well, Indy, I gotta thank you for pinch hitting for us tonight. My oh my, it's another sports podcast. Shout out to our super producer, Indy, aka the Alchemist of the sports podcasting game. Thank you so much. That's Vaden Podcast Services. Vaden Podcast Services. Got to give a huge shout out to all the homies in the live chat. Thank you for all the fire, all the knowledge, and all the energy you bring to this show. And of course, I got to give the biggest shout out to my man RG. He's been a terrorist since the public school era. Can't wait to get back with you next weekend, big dog. Y'all know it's my oh my, it's another sports podcast. Get at us, people.